knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85. We the Reds, monsters of the Midway. Knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85.
Take a real Chicago, you can smell it in the air. There's a hungry team called the Soldier Field going nuts, jumping out their chair. Teams rather be anywhere but here. We don't care if it's below zero. Better tougher for the snow, we still gon' break holes. If we win the point flip, we choosing to hit. Cause we got a defense that love to hit. Polarize the league with our smash mouth D's. Slicing up teams like Mike Singletary. Forever repping the seat, making Papa Bear proud. Giving Chicago something to shout about.
We the Reds, monsters of the Midway.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Panda and Grizzly Show. I'm Brian the Grizzly in here. Guys, just saw Hard Knocks, but it's 10:25 because that means that Hard Knocks did not come out. I didn't get it on my TV till about 9:10. I didn't know what was going on because everything's set up, everything's ready. You're ready to go sit down and watch, and it only says episode 1. And you're like, okay, maybe I'll refresh. Maybe I'll give it 5 minutes. Maybe I'll give it 10 minutes. See what's going on. And nothing changes. So I was kind of like worried for a while. So I had to get to Twitter, start checking on things on Twitter, seeing if there's anyone giving any reports. Finally, Max says, oh yeah, they're trying. They haven't uploaded it yet. Still trying to stream it. Still trying to figure out, what's going on. And, okay, so I'm not worried about after that first 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Then, it gets to an hour. And I'm like, oh, crap. Are we going to miss this episode? Or does that mean people trying to stream that they can't get this episode up? So, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if we were even going to be able to go on tonight and talk about Hard Knocks at all. And then all of a sudden, it just pops up, episode 2, and we get it going. And this episode was interesting. Not a lot of stuff happened that we didn't already know about. Because, of course, we were doing about preseason 1, game 1. So a lot of that was revolving around that. But the practice we got before then, seeing Keenan Allen going against Jalen Johnson, talking to Jalen Johnson about not being a top 100 player was cool. And he's honest, there's no way that I'm not a top 100 player. I know that, but I think it gives him, sets a fire underneath him, and we're going to get the best version of Jalen Johnson again. So that's like we did last year. That's great because then you talk to Keenan Allen, he says, I haven't had to call a pass on him all season, all this entire training camp. I like hearing that because Keenan Allen's a catching machine, and that means Jalen Johnson's been on him like white on rice. So, seeing that competition was cool. And then, finally go through all of it, and Jalen Johnson knocks the ball away. Keenan Allen finally beats him 1-on-1 and gets the catch. And then they go after him again, and he intercepts the ball. It just shows that Jalen Johnson is good, that he is stepping up his game still, and his teammates believe in him. And I was happy to see that because we were so concentrating so hard on the offense all last week. So giving Jalen Johnson a chance to kind of really shine, show what he could do, that was important. So, we get that. We still get a little Jonathan Owens, see him actually on the field, not just talking about Simone Biles, but actually talking about him as a player, seeing him, go through the tackles, go through all his stuff. I thought that was really cool. But the episode was still missing something, right? So, and there's a lot of other things that went on, and we'll talk about, we'll get into it. But overall, I felt that the episode was not as entertaining as we got last week. Seeing Caleb Williams go through his throws, his progression, him talking to Roma Dunze, I got his jersey right here, talking to him about how he expects him to run routes and understanding how each of these players are starting to do these different things. Very cool. But it just wasn't a lot of excitement in this episode, even though we knew we were going to get preseason game 1. And we got it. And we got a quarterback who went out there. Of all the rookie quarterbacks, I got to put him probably near the top from all the rookie quarterbacks. I know it was only 4-7, but I think he had 2 drops. And then he had one that should have been intercepted that didn't get intercepted. But he looked good. He looked in control of the offense. He made throws that were just, something that he just knew how to play. Like, he just knows how to do these things. He knows how to flow a certain way. And I enjoyed seeing those things happen. I was happy to see that he just could play football. He's just out there balling with his guys and just knows how to do it. And then you see the Swift catch, pitch and catch, basically throw over his shoulder, and just they caught it, and Swift took off, and ran down the field. And though we didn't get a touchdown, though we didn't get a score, I think it was very positive to see him do what he did, and I enjoyed that immensely. And I'm not a Caleb Williams guy necessarily, I'm probably still more Justin Fields guy. I would even, say that, I'm still rooting for Justin Fields. I'm rooting that he does do well in Pittsburgh. But if I'm focusing on what we have now with Caleb looked good. And then he didn't say anything stupid afterwards. He didn't say, "Oh, that was easy." I don't know if you guys remember. I think that was my complaint with Justin Fields, saying, "Oh yeah, the game." They talk about how it's much faster, but it's not that much faster. And it's the preseason. You have to know this is only a preseason game, and that it's going to get faster. The rush is going to be different. They're going to throw exotic blitzes. So they threw some blitz at us, but it wasn't really exotic. Mike blitz, blitzing off the side. Defensive end cutting in, getting a blitz off of that. He was able to pick those things up. The offensive line was able to pick those things up and keep it going. And even when the pocket started to collapse, kept his head down the field. And then he saw, there was this one play in particular. He saw, I think, first off a single high safety, right? And then they went to split safety, and basically it was like man-to-man coverage. And then how do you beat that? He knew he needed to take off. He ran with it, and he did a slide drill. So seeing that from episode 1, and then seeing it work in the game, even though we saw it in the game, seeing how they framed it was a good thing. That was a cool thing to see. And it was good to be able to go from, and for him to recognize it that quickly, to go from single high safety to split safety, and then recognize that, now we got man coverage, and we're going to go from there. I thought that was, smart, really good that he was able to pick those things up. Then seeing even you're seeing Austin Reed looked good. He looked interesting. I don't know. So I like seeing his parents talk about him and being proud of him and all those things. I thought that was cool for him, and that's something he's going to be able to look back at overall. And getting those throws are, finally get a chance to play, because the game kind of got short, and he got shortchanged through all that stuff because everything changed. He wasn't able to get out there, and seeing him throw the ball and do some things, and seeing his family, how excited they were, that was cool. So I didn't mind that, even though I think, I want to see Tyson Bagent, I want to see Brett Ripien, but I think Austin Reed is a good story. Another one they're going to kind of follow. But I think my favorite part of this episode was really Austin Booker. Seeing him play at defensive end, and though he's undersized, he looked powerful. He looked explosive. He looked like he had something in him that was going to be a problem, and he could play with the bigger boys, even because he dominated the segment that he was with. So I want to see him take some first team reps, and we're going to see that because second team and first team reps because Montez Sweat's probably not going to play again until the regular season. You know, it's been an undisclosed injury with Montez Sweat, so we're probably going to see him on the sidelines and not play against Tennessee, which is okay because I think he's shown he knows what he's doing. We got Zion in here. Hey, and just sent you a sleeper message. Oh, gotcha. We're talking a 10-7 Bears team. When I look at the schedule, I think they can get out to a 6-3 or 7-2 start. If they do that, if they get to a 6-3 or 7-2 start, then all of a sudden we're looking at the Bears and saying, "Hey, you're able to be something special, man. This could be a special type season." The problem is, I think both Detroit and that team up north could also get out to a really good start and have a really good season, and it's gonna be tough. And now JJ McCarthy is out for foreseeable future. I think when you have I think it's more of it's not cartilage, but it's what is it called? Whenever he had that sprained or that's torn, he's ligament or something like that. He's going to have to. You have two choices, right? You either get it cut out, and then you can have arthritis for early arthritis when you're young, and then your time out is probably less than 3 or 4 weeks, or you sew it back together, which you could be out 7 or 8 weeks. Now, if you're in Minnesota and you're planning for him to sit on the bench and learn from someone else, why would you push it? So I look at the young rookie and say, well, JJ should probably just sit his butt down and come back to practice week 4 and go from there. That makes more sense. What up, B? Appreciate you jumping in, man. Dropping a like. Also posting up this live on the server. Hopefully more could come and watch. I appreciate it, Zion. I really do. Hey, so everyone knows Zion is our guy that he really does an amazing job on the sleeper app. He does a lot of fantasy football mock drafts. He's running a couple of actual leagues that he's going to have, and he does a good job. As a commissioner, he's very good at those things. So if you're ever looking for mock drafts, Zion's around. Check him out, please. We're gonna have him on the channel a little bit more as we go along. Getting back to Hard Knocks. I was surprised when we talked about, I said Austin Booker, we talked about JJ, but we didn't really get in on Trevon Dexter. And I thought that was going to be something that we were going to focus on. See how he's doing. Is he dominating? Is that something that we can, see for the future? I'm hoping that is. I'm hoping that he's going to become a star or be able to push the line from his defensive tackle position. But for the first 2 episodes, we really haven't got much of that. So that's something I'm disappointed in. I'm glad we got more Keenan Allen. I'm glad we got, I'm always interested in seeing DJ Moore, which is fun. Really, he's a fun guy to see. You see him explosive. He's just talking about how much he loves football. No matter if he's in the game, he's at practice. He just is an explosive guy, great with the ball in his hands, and he's so much fun to watch. And then you see him with his kids, see him with his fiance. He just seems like a great guy to hang out with. So I love that you see him. I love that he got paid, and I love that he's going to be a Chicago Bear for the foreseeable future. But then we got on Rome Odunze and seeing him, perform as a rookie, and get his rap in, do that Laffy Taffy stuff, which was good. I thought that was entertaining, and then once again you get more with him on the field, and you see how good he looked in practice. And what is it going to take for Rome to take what he has in practice onto the field and really make it work? It's going to take time. And I think, and that's what we talk about fantasy drafts. Everyone wants, because Rome has all this talent. If you're in you know, in one of these regular leagues, and you're not doing dynasty, you're not doing anything that's going to go long term, I don't see a reason to draft Rome Odunze, because I think it's going to take some weeks before he really starts to blossom. But he's working hard, and when someone works hard and has that much talent, eventually it's going to break for him. I just don't know if it's this season for fantasy football. Zion says, I think Sweat on the defensive line needs to have a huge year. He is that defensive line. He is. And he had 13 sacks last year. Both led both the Washington Commanders and the Chicago Bears in sacks. That's why he was on the Pro Bowl. That's who's ranked as high as he was. I wonder what's going to exactly happen with him. Are we going to get someone on the other end? I mean, we've heard all the news. Everyone's heard all the news about these defensive ends that will be available for the Chicago Bears. I hope they're kicking the tires and looking into it. But do you really want to trade capital and then have to pay? Is Hassan ready for that? He's going to be 30 by, I think in September, he's going to be 30. So do you want to pay that much for Hassan? Or would you go like Matthew Judon and offer a 3rd or 4th round pick to the Patriots for him? But you still have to pay him. So I don't know. And that's what makes Austin Booker so interesting. If he can get pressure on the quarterback, that might be better off for us keeping our picks and waiting to see what we get from him later. Or maybe find a guy later. I don't know. And I'm glad I'm not Ryan Poles, because I don't have to answer that question. He says, Allen is amazing. My only issue with the Bears, is that all the new pieces. It's a hard year one to get it all clicking with a brand new coach and brand new offensive scheme, really, and quarterback. Agreed. But I would say at least offensive line has, most of these pieces have been here, though they haven't played together. They've been here. DJ Moore has been here. Cole Kmet was probably the glue that's holding the entire team together, has been here. Kari Blasingame is still going to be here doing what he's doing. Still got Khalil Herbert and Roshan Johnson, which I believe both will make this team. I think I talked about last week, do you cut one? And I now think that they definitely hold on. They might go 4 or they might go 5 running backs, especially with this new kickoff rule. And the question is that 5th running back Ian Wheeler, because he can play special teams, or is it Velus Jones? Maybe you put Velus Jones in that backfield and see what happens with him. I'm not sure. I'm not impressed with Velus Jones because he can't catch. But from what we saw with Ian Wheeler, he can't catch either. They're both fast. They're both good with the ball in their hands, and they both can't catch. So, but if you're a 4th-string guy, at least if you could contribute to the special teams, that might be something good. It's funny, Reddick got traded and still is pissy and won't practice. Dude should have never got mad in Philly. He would have been fine. Eagles won that Huff trade. Yeah. It's a third rounder. That's what they gave up to get Reddick. And then the Patriots. So and getting that and then having to turn around and not getting a deal done by the Jets was stupid. I know they're going for a 1-year thing because you have Aaron Rodgers and all this stuff, but why would you give away something and then not have a deal in place? Or is it possible that Reddick is, looking for $25 million, and you're not going to pay 25, 20? Maybe he's looking for a Danielle Hunter deal when he's going to make $27.5 million. Is that what he's looking for? I don't know. And I don't know if so he has had in the last 3 years, I want to say he's the 3rd most productive defensive end for sacks in the entire NFL, which is a big thing to say. 3rd or 4th, he might be 4th most productive defensive end for sacks in the NFL. And he wants to get paid for it. I understand that. But if you're going to multiple teams and you're seeing that you're not happy with what you got, maybe you don't continue to reach out. Maybe the other teams don't want to trade for you because they don't know if they can work out a contract with you. I don't know. So I am a little bit hesitant on that. I'd probably be more happier with Judon and doing that as a 1-year deal with a guy you could play still, and then just determining if he has 2-3 years left on it, and then sign him to a deal. I'll be happier with that. Or keep Keenan Allen for a while. I don't know. Maybe you spend the money because we save so much money on the DJ Moore. I think the Bears have somewhere around $22 million in cap space. Maybe you do that. So that's where we are with those things. I'm going to get it back to the hard knocks. We saw in-game things that are going on. We saw Ian Wheeler score those touchdowns, with Austin Reed handling the ball. Saw him make a couple of throws. And overall, I think the most important thing, I think we saw that the Bills weren't really good. They weren't doing a great job, but you didn't see a lot of Josh Allen. So take that with whatever you want to take that with. But the Bears won the game, and we're going into now Cincinnati. So that's next week's episode is going to be very interesting because Cincinnati and the Bears have a joint practice scheduled for, I want to say it's Thursday. The game's on Saturday. So I think if the joint practice on Thursday, they'll have a walkthrough on Friday, and then the game on Saturday. And we already know that the Bengals are not playing their starters. And it seems like the Bears are leaning towards not playing their starters either, which normally I wouldn't have a problem with. But when you have a rookie quarterback who hasn't had a lot of time to really go through all the motions, call out plays, haven't played more than, I think he had 18 snaps in game one, and they want to get him to between 45 and 50 snaps. How do you do that? I mean, is he playing? So week 3, which is the last game of the preseason, and then you have basically a 2-week hold off until you have some regular football in the regular season. I'm not sure what you do with Caleb. For one hand, you don't want JJ. You don't want what happened to JJ. All of a sudden, you have a knee problem, and that's going to haunt you overall, especially with a player that you need him to start. And so you don't want him to get hurt, but he needs to play. He's a rookie. He needs to get all the yips out of him. He needs to be ready, be able to call the plays and know how it is when it's a loud stadium and things like that, or even the pressure of the home, crowd on them in the NFL, not just in college where everyone's going to be behind you. So I would like to see him do it. And the Bears themselves put that 45-50 plays out there on himself. So I would like to see him play, even if it's just 15, 20 snaps. And then week 3, preseason game 3, it'll be the 4th game for the Bears, but the preseason game 3, seeing him play another 15 to 20 plays, and then going off into the sunset and getting ready for Tennessee Titans for week 1. I think I would rather him play both the games. I don't think we're going to get that. I think that Saturday we're going to see all the backups play again because you use that joint practice like a game. At least that's what it seems like Eberflus does. And I'm not sure I'm happy with it, but that's kind of just what we got. So we're going to have to deal with that in itself. As I said, overall, I felt like this was not a boring episode, but just was not very eventful. Wasn't any new information. Probably the newest thing was Velus Jones running back and not following the track or not understanding the track that you need to stay on as a running back. And that's why you can see Ian doing a much better job because he understands I need to follow my blocking. I know my scheme is. I understand what a power. This is where my track is, and that's something you can't just teach. But it seems like Poles is trying to find a place for him. If he's going to make this team, he got to make it at two different positions. That he's the fourth, running back, and then also the fifth wide receiver, because he's definitely fallen down. The pecking order. I think when we get to the regular season, I think Colin Johnson will be the guy who's going to make the team. So it'll be Keenan Allen, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, Tyler Scott, and then Colin Johnson, who's a little bit different. I don't think Dante Pettis makes this team, but you do have a practice squad that you could use now, because there's no age limit anymore on this practice squads. Which what used to be a problem. You used to only have to be only young guys, but you can actually go where older guys, put them on your team, especially if you don't think another team will snatch them off your practice squad. Go with that. I think that's where Ian Wheeler will probably going there. Go back and forth as he goes along. I think he's going to get a chance. I found out it's actually interesting that Ian Wheeler made it. He has a spot in medical school, so he could go, to medical school if this football thing doesn't really work for him. So how does Caleb look? I haven't watched too much, but I saw highlights from preseason game. Also, how do you feel about the new kickoffs? So Caleb looks like a rookie that's very, very talented. He has a lot of talent in him. And you see the arm talent. You can see his decision making. You can see how he could identify what's going on around him. I still probably think that he's the second most talented quarterback that came out. But I think the whole package is the reason why you go with him. The pressure that he's put on himself. I think Jaden Daniels might be more talented, but less durable. And I think he's going to get hurt. He's going to make more plays, but he's going to get hurt a lot. Caleb Williams has a chance to stay healthy and throw for 3,900 yards and show what he has. So he's looked good. He's looked good, but he also has made a lot of mistakes. He's also making mistakes with not being able to call plays and things like that because he's never done that. So how is he going to read? Him reading on the run is interesting to follow and see. So that's why I was so excited about that play when he pulled the ball down and ran, because he read on the run while the play was happening, and he read correctly. So, how do you feel about the new kickoffs? I feel like they're not going to show what they're really doing, because the smart thing is when you're 5 yards away, the timing matters. It's like a run play, right? The timing matters. So you need to do something like, I think the line, the receiving team's line needs to run back 5 yards before they engage with the kickoff team. If you ran back 5 yards, then you can set up your blocks so the timing makes more sense. I think that'll work. They can probably even start doing things like pulling guards or pulling, from that position as a guard, or this position as a tackle or something like that. And you're actually running plays. And that's why I think it might be a good idea to have a running back returning your kicks. And the timing could work out, and understanding to be patient and then hit it and go. And then you need to be able to make the right decisions, unlike what Valus did when he saw the ball chest high. Instead of coming to the bread basket and trying to jump and try to catch it in the bread basket, he tried to catch it like it's just a ball being thrown at him, which is a mistake. You don't do that. No one in high school does that. So why would you do that in the professionals? And I think he's moving too fast for him. And I think he's good enough to play in this NFL. I just don't think he should be on this team. Yeah. So that's where I'm at right now. Overall, I'm worried about Nate Davis. Ryan Bates not playing also is concerning, especially because they had a chance at Connor Williams and they really didn't want him. Defensive end is something that you have to think about. Without a great defensive end, we might end up having issues if Austin Booker ever hits that wall, if he's not really that guy. Dominic Robinson has not really changed from what he was as a rookie. He looks exactly the same. He still does the same moves. He hasn't gotten much more explosive, so I worry about that. And DeMarcus Walker could always be your starter. If Austin Booker could put some pressure on the quarterback, stick with what you got already. I mean, and what you have is a defensive backfield with Brisker, Byard, Gordon, Stevenson, and Jalen Johnson. You know, with Terrell Smith, Stroman, and Jones and Owens behind them. So they're deep in those positions. I just worry about the line. If the line is strong, then overall the Bears would be a very good team and very hard team to beat or even score on. So that's my overall overarching feelings for it. That's kind of the outline of what happened in this Hard Knocks. And as I said, it didn't seem like it was very long. Didn't seem like it was a lot of information that was new, but we got it. And I think next week will be a little bit more of a look into how things are running. You see the bingos that are going to be there for that joint practice. That's going to be really cool to see, and see who develops, who continues to develop, and who's going to be left to the wayside. Because there are going to be guys that surprise cuts. You know, does Dominic Robinson get cut because Austin Booker does exactly the same thing? It's possible that, you know, they go Daniel Hardy and Booker as the backups with Khalid Kareem and has let Dominic Robinson go. That's possible. You know about Zach Pickens. Does he continue to make his way up the depth chart? I don't know. You know, what do we do at backup tackle and guard, and especially if our guard's always out? Does Nate Davis get replaced no matter what? I think that's possible, and I think that'll be something we're going to see towards the end, like a veteran that's been not there because he's a veteran, and then all of a sudden you see him get replaced. He's probably going to make the team. I don't think he gets cut because everything you owe him, you already had to pay him, so you might as well keep him on the team. But if he's not going to be healthy and help the team, then you cut him. All right, guys, that is our late edition of the Panda Grizzly Show. Went over all the Hard Knocks things. Kind of looked into what our crystal ball and see what we're going to get the next week, and hopefully we'll get a more interesting overall line, and maybe we get insight to some new players. Maybe the offensive line. You know, maybe we do hear about Montez Sweat. Maybe this works out for the best, and they know they're just the first episode is great. The second episode is a little bit pulled back. The third episode gets you, motivating to move forward. And then, the fourth and fifth, and all of a sudden we got some great episodes. So I'm hoping that's what happens. I don't think this was excellent. I think this was just okay. And I'm okay with dealing with okay, but I'm going to be honest about it. So, all right, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Zion, for jumping in the chat. Thank you, B, always supporting me. I appreciate you. And we'll see you guys tomorrow on the Dynasty Pylon channel with me and Martin. We might even do a mock draft with Zion's help, because it's mock draft season. This is draft season, so you have to know what you need to do in your position, who the players that work the best together. If you have those questions, come see us tomorrow. Sunday, we'll talk about on the morning spike. We'll talk about all the games that we've already had on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and then what we're going to expect for Sunday. We'll do all those things. And then next Tuesday, we will go through episode 3. We'll have our discussion, and maybe we'll have a few more things come on for us. So if you're watching this later, thank you guys for hitting the video. Please hit the like, hit the subscribe. We're on our way to 500. Every 100 subscribers, we give away a real Stitch jersey. We're all part of the Dynasty Pylon, so it'll say Dynasty Pylon on the back. The one we actually did now, we have a 400 subscriber video right now, and that's for the number 7. So where it'll be a number 7 stitched on for the team of your choosing. It'll say Dynasty Pylon on the back. There'll be an real NFL jersey, and we'll get it to you. We're gonna probably do the pick the week of the first game, and we'll get it to you within the first 2 weeks. Yeah. So that's our thank you for you guys watching our videos and hitting subscribe and liking it. And as we go, we're going to do more Dynasty playoffs, things like that. We're going to do more leagues. And if you win a league from us, you beat us, we'll give you a jersey. If you are a 500, 600 subscriber, we'll give you a jersey. We'll continue to do that as we grow, just to make sure you guys grow with us, and thank you for all the stuff that you guys do. So thanks again, guys. And we'll see you next week. Peace.
We the Bears, monsters of the Midway, knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85. We the Bears, monsters of the Midway, knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop.